Yeah, I definitely think it is. And this is coming from someone who's not exactly a super fan of the franchise. I really like Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2, but that's like the most lukewarm basic take there is. I think those are iconic. I poured so many hours into those as a kid, and after playing Sonic and Shadow Generations, I'm starting to realize I may not have even finished Sonic Adventure 2. I think I spent most of the time with the Chow and just literally playing the same levels over and over again like City Escape. But, point is, there are a few games in the Sonic franchise I do like, but overall, I think it's been spitting out some stinkers for a long time. I think there are more misses than hits when it comes to Sonic, and the Sonic fandom has been on my ass for a long time. They wouldn't tinkle in my mouth if I was dying of thirst because of how harsh I've been. Aside from Sonic Frontiers, I think Sonic Frontiers was a really good idea that wasn't properly implemented. It was kind of buggy, but overall I love the direction. I love the soundtrack. I think it got snubbed because it definitely should have won Best Soundtrack at the Game Awards that year. But point is, I haven't liked Sonic this much in a long time. So you should really know that when I'm saying Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is a banger, shit is slapping, because I'm not exactly playing softball when it comes to Sonic games. I do like the movies too, by the way, but we're talking about games here, not the movies. So, I didn't know this going into it, but Sonic Shadow Generations is a remaster of Sonic Generations with an entirely new component, the Shadow part. So the new content is everything Shadow related, and the rest is a remaster of Sonic Generations with some like subtle changes and some rewrites, but not anything like drastic. I didn't play Sonic Generations, so even that was fresh for me, and that was a lot of fun. So I guess I missed a really good Sonic game over the last few years because Generations went hard. But I want to focus on Shadow Generation since that is the meat here. But I wanted to make that clear because I think maybe there was some other people in the same boat as me that thought this entire game was brand new. Not the case. The Shadow side is what's new, and the Sonic Generation side is just a boosted, better version. So first and foremost, it's not a $70 game. Big fucking cheers for that. I love that. It is a $50 game, and I think it warrants that price tag. Playing through the Shadow campaign was so much fun. It was delightful, and it was a spectacle too. The music is a little different than it was in Sonic Frontiers, but it's still extraordinary. Sonic music has always been really good though. Like even when I didn't like some of the games, I still liked the soundtrack, and it's no exception here. I don't like the soundtrack as much as Frontiers, but I still think it's extremely good. I was wiggling my finger to quite a few tracks here. So expect great music, boner jams out the wazoo. And this campaign has such hype. Every cutscene is so good. Every boss fight is grand and exciting. And when you kill a boss, it's like 4 phases worth of just like badass moments with Shadow doing like Wing Chun on them, ending with like a goddamn bicycle kick. Then he like shoots dark spears at him while riding a dark stingray. Like you get these powers throughout the campaign where you're doing the acts, you're doing the stages, you're doing the challenge worlds, and as you progress, you get boss keys, and you also get new abilities, like the Dark Spears that I mentioned, or the Dark Mantis, or the Dark Squid, or the Dark Wings. Everything's fucking dark, because, I mean, it's Shadow the Hedgehog. Unfortunately, though, I'll go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, hit you with the cold water. He does not say damn, and he doesn't bring out any guns. So, fans of the OG Shadow the Hedgehog game may be a little disappointed there, but I have heard that they're making a DLC where Keanu Reeves will be voicing in it, maybe. So maybe then he'll even drop a fuck, and he'll pull out like a severed head or something and just go ballistic. So there's still hope there potentially. But anyway, you're going through, you're getting these powers, and you're fighting these bosses, and you get like this crescendo of great music kicking in as you're like doing a meteor kick straight through the heart of a giant monster. What's not to love about that? Yeah, some of the dialogue is cheesy, of course it's going to be, and yeah, the narrative may not be all that special, but it didn't really need to be. It's not a focal point here, but they do put a good bit of time into story building, like Maria's here and Gerald is here, and they get a little screen time, and it's just enough to make you understand why Shadow's fighting and what he's fighting for. And that's good. It's not like the best part of the game or anything. The best part is definitely just going through all of the stages and the challenges and the bosses. I will say the game is way too generous with its A's and S's. There were times where I was sucking the fattest fucking butthole and like actually throwing and getting tilted and still getting an S when I finished the level. I think they could have tweaked that a little bit to not just hand out participation trophies like that, because I was not earning some of those S's, I'll tell you what. But I mean, it doesn't matter. That's not like a big complaint or anything. Just thought I'd mention it. But yeah, all of the stages, the levels are really good. There's also a hub world where everything takes place. It's not like an open world or anything per se. It's just like a tiny little sandbox where you can go around and do like side quests kind of and collect collectibles. You can get some cool little collectibles that are references to previous Sonic games and a lot of silly, fun things that you can go around and get should you choose to. It's not super big or anything, it's not like a giant world to explore, but there is a lot in it that makes it feel like you can always have something to be doing, which is nice. So yeah, I just don't really have many complaints about this game. I really enjoyed the Shadow campaign, and then going through Sonic Generations is also super good because I never experienced it. If you already have, I imagine this is still a better way of playing it because everything's been improved as I understand it, so yippee. For me, it's all fresh and it's all fun. If I did have to like nitpick one quick thing, it'd be Dark Squid form. That fucking thing I could not wrap my head around. Anytime I was like in a groove, like a flow state going through one of the levels, and I'd come up to like a moment where I needed to go Dark Squid, man, just kiss that S goodbye. Well, not really. I'd still get an S because of how fucking free that is. But, man, kiss that flow state goodbye. Because when you go into Dark Squid form, everything kind of changes. Because you go Dark Squid on, like, I don't know, like the side of a wall, and you'll jump, and it doesn't really go where you think it's going to go. So every time I do that, I jump and then just, like, fucking plummet right down to hell. And if I boost, God forbid, if I boosted in Dark Squid form, I was lost. I was just guessing after that. It did feel like it had a mind of its own sometimes, but I think that might just be a skill issue thing. Anyway, though, I think Sonic Shadow Generations is 100% worth buying, especially if you're a Sonic fan. I think this is a guarantee buy if you're someone who likes Sonic games. But even coming from someone who doesn't usually like most modern Sonic games, I had a great time with this fucking thing. I really loved it. I'm hoping Sonic can continue this momentum here and like build on it. I think this is probably the best Sonic has felt in a really long time. Like, as I mentioned, Sonic Frontiers had good ideas, poorly implemented and very buggy. This has good ideas, perfectly executed. Like, it feels so tight. The level design is so good. It's just refreshing. I would love to see more Sonic games like this. And of course, the Sonic movies have been killing it in the box office, and I know they have the third one right around the corner. So, I mean, Sonic stock's through the roof right now. Hopefully, the gameplay in Shadow Generations is the new standard for Sonic games going forward, and they continue to use that and build on it, as opposed to keep just shotgun diarrhea shitting things at the wall and hoping some of it sticks and some of it's good. Because right now, we know what's good, and it's the gameplay here in Shadow Generations. Just stick with that and build on it for your next games, and Sonic is going to be sitting pretty. That's really about it. So yeah.